And I posed this question to you last year, but I want to talk about it again, especially in the light of where we are a year later. What do you think's missing from the international dialogue when it comes to this ceasefire deal, the 20-point plan, phase one of that plan, the end of this conflict, President Trump announcing that the war is over? I mean, what do you think really is missing from the conversation, especially when we are looking at all the questions that hang over where we go next?
In the recent plan, I can say what's missing: nothing about the West Bank, nothing about an end to conflict completely, an end of the occupation. That is not missing. There's zero vision of going beyond the ceasefire in Gaza. In the international community, what's missing? I think it remains the same, that people in power are looking more for a quick fix, a patch, where kind of it can kick the ball down to the next generation, to the next leader. So I don't need to deal with it in the next 10 years I'm in power, but whoever comes next will have to deal with a situation that's 20, 30 times more. And so much of the solution that's continue to be pushed internationally are very partial solutions that continue to collapse again and again. And the idea that you can have a status quo or conflict management system, it doesn't work. Things don't stay stagnated. This is one of the biggest mistakes, definitely in international politics and in diplomacy. There's no stagnation, there's no status quo. Things either get better or get worse. And when we stagnate, it means we are rolling down and getting worse. And that's why when I look at the reality when I was a child, as difficult as my childhood was living under occupation, it was so much easier to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, so much easier 30 years ago, 35 years ago, than it is today. And it is so much easier today to solve it than it will be in 30 years. So our work, what Maoz and I have been doing, is saying we have 5 years. This is a window that we can achieve really a just and sustainable peace, because after such a major trauma that we've gone through, that's usually the closest time to reach a peace agreement after you go through something massive like this, because people, even though they hurt, they realize why it's important to go toward an agreement. And so we have 5 years. If we fail in those 5 years, it's a big problem. And that's missing in the international community. Even when I talk to international figures and leaders and so on, they don't really believe it. They're not working on a timeline of saying, let's get an agreement in 5 years. And that's our work as peacemakers, is saying, no, we have to believe it's possible in the next 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, and we can't kick it to the next generation, because it's a criminal to do that. It's a crime to say my nephews and nieces and my partner's, Maoz's children and my cousins and so on children going to have to solve what we have failed to solve. It is not love, and it is not compassion, and it's not taking care of our children when we say they have to deal with our failures. So I think we take charge now, and we take responsibility now, and that's not just me and Maoz and our peace-building partners in Interact and other organizations, but rather the international community, the international leaders. President Trump, he's got 3 more years in office. Make a commitment to have a final deal, an actual peace agreement, not a ceasefire agreement, before the end of your term. That would be a true leadership and commitment that we need. The same with Britain, with the Labour Party there. They need to have a clearer vision to when we're going to get there. The same with Saudi Arabia. And I think all of these powers coming together, Germany, and more Muslim countries being involved, like Egypt and Saudi for sure, Indonesia and Malaysia, coming together and saying, we have a vision, and the vision is in 5 years, and you get the US, you get Europe, you get the Muslim and Arab world on it. I think we will have a very strong chance of reaching an agreement. Not even a strong chance. I would say I'm pretty sure we would reach an agreement. Right now, everyone is kind of doing their own thing and comfortable with just, let's make sure Israel and Palestine are not in the headlines.